Hey fellow blacksmiths, Rhadamant here. Thank you for tuning in to Medieval Dynasty, Episode 10, Finally Making My Own Copper Tools. So, first thing I want to do is to put my animal feed away, bag, bronze sickle, carrot seed, bucket, flax, fur, copper. Leather I'm going to hold on to because I'm going to turn that into stuff. Oats I'm going to thresh. Rye grain, sticks, straw, wool thread. All right, let's thresh the rye. Or the oat. Why do I have rye grain? Yeah, thresh the oats. I thought I had more oats than this. Did I put them away accidentally? I must have. Oh, there's all my oat grain. I don't know how that happened. But yeah, so we have enough oat and rye to easily sow the fields that we have. That's no problem at all. The farmer will take the bag himself. Yeah, I don't need to do anything to that end. Anything else I need to put away? Nope. Nicatix, thank you for the sub. All right, before end of day, it's going to be important for me to drop the meat on the ground because I'm going to turn all of it into fertilizer. Drink some water. The crop harvest does create new seeds, yes. I'm going to hold on to the cheese because the cheese is really good to eat right before a fight because it reduces the amount of stamina that you use, so it allows you to continue fighting at like half stamina cost, which in the case of that boar and wolf fight, like probably saved my life, if I'm honest. All right, I'm gonna put the beer and... Oh, these are just beer bottles. I don't need to hold on to them. Well, I'll put them away, but I failed to notice that they didn't actually have beer in them, so they're not really worth anything on their own. And it's going to be fall in an hour in game or two. What time is it? 2.5 hours. Here's 9 more torches. And that brings my production tech. I did it! I got the smithy. I'm 50.5. Woo! Alright, I'm assuming you guys want me to build the smithy, which would be option number 2. But if you want me to build a house so that we can have a well tender, that would be option number 1. If you want me to earn money, I would still build the smithy because I'm going to make the most money smithing. So that would be option number 3. Or questing, which would be 4. But Rip Stone Age is my thoughts exactly. It looks like you guys want me to go smithing. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go into the mines and mine up as much as I can before end of season, because as soon as the season changes, I will get all of that back. So I'm going to bring both pickaxes, and I'm going to try to break the lower HP one. Well, I'm not going to intentionally break it, but I'm going to use it up until it's gone. So you can see the advantage of me getting that workshop, because I was able to, like, get my production from, like, 10 to 50 pretty quickly as a result of having access to better recipes. So I still have the 30 copper here, which I'll pick up soon. But right now, I'm just trying to exhaust the copper veins that are in here. One little cheese thing to do, if you're wondering, is at the end of the season, you know how you're teleported back to your house? You're teleported back to your house regardless of what you're carrying. So if I wanted to, I could come here at like 11:59 p.m. and pick up everything in the cave and then teleport to my house instantly. Cheese, again. And in this run, I'm avoiding cheese like that. I'm just letting you know that end of season teleportation is a very strong tool to potentially exploit if you're willing to exploit. But at the moment, I'm not actually trying to obtain these materials. I'm trying to tap all the veins for all the potential copper I can get. I'm just moving it into one big stack before end of day. Oh, there goes that pick. How did I find the mine when I laid down the town? I just knew it was here. But you could find it. I mentioned this at the start of the stream, but on the map, you can kind of see the area of the mine because it's rocky. So there's if you're wondering where the mines are in Oxbow, there's one here, 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 I think. And you can just Google it too. Because I might not be... I think there's one more I forgot. But they're in a static location because it's not a procedurally generated map. Will the copper decay? No. It won't. I won't be losing anything. Oop, can't move. Same with the stone. The stone I'm dropping here, I could just pick up later. Okay, I think that's the end of the cave. So, because it's the end of the cave, I'll start moving this stuff back to my supplies. And the current priority right now is going to be build a smithy and make copper tools. And potentially, like, weapons, but I'm including them in the umbrella of tools. 30 of those copper in that stack was actually from last season, too. I might accidentally teleport home with... Because it's 11:05. I might actually teleport home with a bunch of resources unintentionally here. In this series, I am trying to avoid cheese, like teleporting over encumbered. But if it happens accidentally, it's really not my fault. So we have 77 copper already in the supplies here, ready to fuel our foray into the Copper Age. I'm excited. All the copper acquisition. So I think we'll have something like 100-something copper. And the copper recipes are going to cost money to unlock for the schematics. But if I can't afford them all, what I can easily do is unlock something like a copper sickle or a copper knife and mass produce that for a lot of coin once I sell those tools to be able to afford more schematics. Given what's happening right now, I might end up... What time is it? 20 minutes until midnight? Yeah, I'm probably about to super cheese collect all the stuff. Because the moment I get to this pile, it's going to be fall. So, I'm going to just do it. Because in a few seconds, I'm going to be in home, in my bed, with everything in the mine. It'll happen just this once. But, cheers. Cheers to a very good mining season. I got every single ounce of copper out of this mine this season. And end of season. Now the good news is my dude's not going to be bitching and moaning about being too hot 24/7, 365. And next season I will have the I'll have the flax to cool him down, so he's not, you know, constantly huffing and puffing and angry at life. And one of the other benefits that we just did is I do have now 50 stone in our stockpile, which is a pretty, and I think even more in the home here. Yeah, I left some stone over here. So we're gonna have a lot of building material for the next house or whatever. All right, what is my tax burden now? 171. It's gone up a bit from the new structures and the new recalculations. Nothing I can't handle. As long as you're smart about what you build, it shouldn't be too burdensome. The only time it's going to be burdensome is if you add a huge amount of production and you're not doing anything with those resources. And then we also have enough rot for 30 fertilizer, which is 3/5 of another farm. Not bad at all. So let's go make that fertilizer now so that our farmer can use it. There's always some like maintenance things that you need to do between seasons. So Nysad should be sowing the rye field or doing something to the rye field right now. And then our woodcutter should be woodcutting. Dora Bora or whatever her name is. And we've got 13 logs in the stockpile, so I'm pretty sure she's already contributed to that because I don't recall putting 13 in myself. Although they're not, it's too early in the morning, they're not working right now. So let's take a look at the condition of the farm. The entire rye field is fertilized. And then some of it is also plowed and ready to be sown. So he's in a pretty good... I don't think he's going to have any issue getting the rye in this season. I think it looks fine. All right, time to build a smithy. I need to go grab my hammer. And then I might need my axe if I run out of wood. I'm not 100% sure if we have enough wood stocked. I probably have enough wood stocked for it, but in case I don't. Ooh. Technologies has unlocked the excavation shed. So that is a building tech. And the excavation shed allows you to assign a villager to get stone, limestone, copper, stuff like that. The amount of copper they get is pretty crappy though. It pales in comparison of what you as the player can grab. So it's not great for them to get copper that way. Unless you absolutely have way too much manpower and you need copper badly. Which I would have to wonder why you're in that position in the first place. And through all the threshing, we ended up with an enormous amount of straw. So now I don't need to go into the riverbanks and grab straw that way, because there is plenty of straw being sourced. Oh, shoot. From our threshing activities. Yes, punch the roof into submission. Looks like I'm shy 1 log. Come on, what's her name? Maybe I should know. I only have Dale Bora, not Dora Bora. Dale Bora. Come on, Dale Bora. Well, no. It is 9 a.m. Yeah, she's working. We'll probably have that log in a second. Yeah, I already have it. Done! Just built my first smithy. So, let's make 61 copper bars with all that copper I got. It's a 1-to-2 ratio. So 2 copper to 1 bar. And luckily I have fast craft, because otherwise this would take like 10 minutes. And I can't move, because these copper bars weigh a ton. I'm actually going to... I'll just put them in this chest for now, because I'm sure I'll use them locally. Things in this chest are available to the crafting facility, and things in the resource lodge are available village-wide. So here are the recipes that I can make out of the copper. So there's copper shovels, copper knives, copper sickles, copper hoes, copper hammers, copper axes. And then I won't be able to do bronze because I'm outside of the production technology. So bronze unlocks at 500. I'm 88. There are copper weapons. So there's copper spear. I already have a bronze spear for now, but I don't have the linen thread, so that wouldn't help me. Copper cudgel, copper arrows, which would be nice to have. Copper bolts, copper shield. The shields, depending on what I'm hunting, shields can be really helpful. The way it works is the shields allow you to block almost all the incoming damage. As you can see, the kite shields block 100%. The round shields block 95. Honestly, I just go kite shields, block all of it. You know, it's a little bit more stamina, but it's worth it. Then we also have, yeah, so those are the copper weapons that we can make. And then there's copper armor sets. I don't think no, there's no copper armor sets. You have to do bronze for that. But we do have the scheme potentially to buy these if we want. And they're worth a whole lot. Like, as you can see, bronze armor we can sell for $23.90 a piece. So, you know, we would be able to make bronze because we live next to a copper and tin mine. So that's another thing to think about. Now, immediately I would say, in terms of copper tools, there is no copper pick. You start picking at bronze tier, which is going to hurt us a little bit, meaning that we're likely going to want to buy bronze picks just to make mining a little bit easier, because mining with stone picks sucks. It might be worth the money to go for purchasing that tool. But for now, what I want to do is I want to buy the copper sickle pattern, buy the copper axe pattern, and buy the copper hoe pattern, and the copper hammer pattern to start making the tools that we use every day made out of copper. And then any excess copper that I have will be, I'll mass craft a tool for sale. So now we have the tools that our farmer and our woodcutter need, plus a hammer for me, because breaking my hammers every other swing was kind of annoying. Did they produce more with better tools? It depends on the work that they're working on. But the simple answer is yes. The complicated answer is it really depends on what they're doing. And I'll try to demonstrate that in a second. Also, I'll get rid of my own So, in the stockpile here, I'm going to grab the stone tools that I've gotten here and just, like, I'm going to get rid of them. I'll sell them. Because we won't need them anymore. So we do have that bronze sickle, which will be decent. But, I should make myself a copper axe as well. Because the copper axe that I made is for our woodcutter, so... one for me as well. I have, so the quartermaster gave us 2 copper knives, and I haven't used up my knife yet. So my current knife is at 16 durability, but I still have another knife in my cabin that has 100% durability, so I don't need the copper knife pattern just yet, as we have a spare knife. I also just unlocked the sewing hut, which is, with all the flax that we have, going to be a big moneymaker too. So, let's see. I've got the hammer. I made myself a spare axe. And then the rest of the tools here... you know, I actually am going to buy the copper knife pattern. Well, no, I could just make hammers. So, for the rest of the copper that I have, I'm just going to crank out 23 hammers for sale. That's a lot of coin. I'm also not going to be able to move an inch. And we have a new level of production. So our production is 158. And my skills in production leveled up as well. So, I want to unlock full focus. No stamina use in inspector mode. So I can be in inspector mode indefinitely and it doesn't burn my stamina bar, which is incredible. Okay. I would love to sell these copper hammers, but it's more than I can literally hold. They're too heavy. So I'm going to have to make multiple runs into town to sell them. So for now, I'll put them away in the chest so that they're not just like sitting out in the open, because that feels wrong to me. But we'll need to make a run into town to sell our bounty. But whether I do that right now or not is up to you. So I have improved my gear. If you want me to improve my gear further, I would build the tailor hut and start using the flax. So that would be the sewing hut here. I can lay down the foundation for it, but it will just sit here until you're ready to do it. Improving the village would be to build another house and add a villager. Probably for someone working the well, or maybe a hunter or something. Why does Nicead not have a profession? Wait, what? Ah, I screwed him up. I'm glad I just caught that. We haven't spent a lot of the day with him not having a profession. I'm not really sure what happened there. He's got a house. He's got tools. Okay, it's fine. Improving my gear would be the sewing hut, and then earning money. And I think what I'll do is, I am sort of tempted to make a market run now, because we're going to need more fertilizer anyway. It was probably happening when I was madly clicking. Yeah, I'm sure you are right. So I'm going to go into town selling some stuff. So what I want to do is pouch or bank all the junk I have that I don't need to sell. So I have the most amount of carry weight for the things I want to sell. Also, let's eat the cheese to help me get into town. So the copper hammer in here is my hammer, and the copper hammers I'm bringing to town are for sale. So all these hammers are sale hammers, and I'll take 13 of them. All right. I think Ostoya is a little bit closer, although there is the cliff to contend with, but I think it's a little bit closer than the other town. You guys want me to improve the village, so here's a follow-up question. What industry to do next? Well fetching? Well water? Pigsty? And I'll explain the benefits of each so that you make a more informed decision in just a second. Extractor, or I'll call it mining. So the miner would be able to get stone or probably limestone so that we can insulate. It's not super important, but it might make the houses a little bit nicer. A hunter would be able to get meat, leather, or fur for us. I'm going to skip herbalism because it's not vitally important. I could add another farmer to add more farm fields to be able to be more productive. Or an orchard, one or the other. A pigsty would allow us to make manure out of animal feed, which would close the loop so that our crops feed the pigs, which then feed the crops, which then feed the pigs, so that we don't have to buy either fertilizer or animal feed. And we are in the process of making the growing the ingredients for animal feed, which is oats, rye, and straw. So that's pigsty. I'm going to be doing the crafting myself, so I don't really need that. So yeah, well water, pigsty, miner, hunter, farmer. That's the industry to add. So you pick what we'll be doing with that. Where is the merchants here? Okay, there's a fishmonger that way. Here's one.
Hello.
How many hammers can you buy? Wow, you can buy all 13. Sweet. Selling the axe, selling the stone sickles, selling the wooden hammer, selling the wooden hose. We've sold everything, so we have 900 coin.
Good luck.
And that's not even all our hammers. So you can see how much money that, like, crafting can offer. Because we basically had no coin, and now we've made all our coin back after buying all the schematics for the tools we typically use. What's well water for? So well water is so that we have an automatic source of water. Your villagers expect to be fed, given water, and had firewood supplied per day. And I can bail out or I can bucket water myself, but it makes more sense to hire someone to do that, so I don't have to remember to do that once every few days. However, because I can make my own buckets and I have fast craft, I could just, like, take a bunch of planks or take a bunch of logs, make a dozen buckets, and then not have to worry about water for a while. So that way we don't need someone working the well. Oh, I only have my spear. I shouldn't be hunting. This is just aiming practice. Yeah, see, I knew I was going to miss. It is fall. So another thing that happens in fall is there's a lot of mushrooms around. It's the season of mushrooms. Some mushrooms are used for poisons, to poison arrows and the like. Some mushrooms are used for cooking. Without a kitchen, they don't really serve much of a purpose for us either way. So I'm not going to bother foraging. And it looks like you guys want me to get a pigsty. Alright, sounds good. Do pigs make meat and leather? No, they just make manure. So not only am I going to need to build a pigsty, I'm also going to need to build the house that the person that works in the pigsty does. But it, so there's a bit of construction needed. Fortunately, I now have the proper tools to do it, which is great. And then the other thing I wanted to do, no, I don't think that's true.
Hail, friend. Good luck. No worries. I'll wait.
Oh, you're polite. What? We have no logs? Oh, you know what? Wait, what? Oh, you know what it is? It's the woodcutter's hut is too far from the shed, the resource shed. That's my fault. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to hip check you. Relax. It wasn't a personal front. Yeah, I shouldn't have spread it out that far. That's my bad. Let's see. What I wanted to do was... Never mind. I'm going to change my mind. What I was originally thinking of doing is to turning some of those logs into firewood, because firewood's more efficient. But I'm not too worried about keeping things heated for right now. It is fall, it's not winter yet, so it shouldn't be that big of a deal. So for me to build a pigsty, we're going to grab the copper axe and the copper hammer. Where should the pigsty go? I don't know. So the pigs will like kind of wander out of the pigsty. Maybe I'll have the pigs wander towards the water. I'll put the pigsty here. So let's go fetch stone and wood and thatch and stuff from our resource stockpile. If you were wanting to do this more efficiently, what you could do is you could pile up everything around your resource stockpile so that you have adjacent access to it. But I wanted to lay this out more aesthetically. And as the resource stockpile back there gets upgraded, I'll have access to it from further out. So it's a problem that will self-correct in the long run. Also making sure I don't have any skills to allocate. No, okay. So I need to get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 more logs. I think he was just complaining about not having anywhere to sit. How have you been doing? So this is the rye field? Oh, good. It's still the first day, and he is actually sowing it. So he's made a lot of progress. The rye will be fully sown easily by end of fall, and then he'll be able to work on some of the other fields. So, Nysad is doing a great job managing that farm. Even though I, like, accidentally temporarily furloughed him, which is why his happiness dropped in hindsight. I saw his happiness go from 36 to 30, and it was because he was unemployed. Because people like employment in this game. Perhaps surprising, but that's how it works. So I don't have enough logs for it. That's fine. I can cut the trees down myself. That's why I have my axe. I should have brought sticks over too, but I'll get some sticks by cutting down new trees anyway. It's also a new season, so I should be on the lookout for random buildings and structures and camps and NPCs and bandits and all that. Because every season the terrain changes a bit. The other thing is, once I have the pigsty, I'm going to need to buy some animal feed to start, because I don't have the resources to make it myself. And then I will show you how to ask your villagers about where to buy pigs. Because not every town has pigs. Each town has its own animals that they sell, usually 2 different animals. So going to a random town, the likelihood of me finding pigs is like 25%. And then when I go to buy pigs, it's also possible to try to hire someone to work the pigsty. So I should have the house built ahead of time as well, so that I can do 2 birds, 1 stone. I can buy pigs and hire a rancher for it. I would have broken like 2 wooden hammers by now. So nice not to have to constantly replace them. So the way a pigsty works is you put animal feed in the trough, you feed the animals, the pigs, and they poop on the floor, and you collect the manure, and you can turn that into fertilizer. Pretty straightforward. The pigsty isn't enough, though, because we need somewhere for the person that works in it to live. And yeah, it's going to suck for them to live immediately adjacent to the pigsty, but like, that's the life they live in this village, so... Sucks to be them, but that's just how it is. Alright, let's just scavenge the stones. The rest of the stones that are in my stockpile I can use on the walls, but the stones for the foundation will just pick up off the ground. Being able to use inspector mode for free makes stone collection very easy. Definitely worth the skill points, in my opinion. And I almost calculated enough. I was trying to get enough logs to be able to build a frame for the next one, but I'm 1 log short. As you may have noticed, I've really learned my lesson is to not stand so close. Getting splatted sucked. It's funny, I like killed multiple boars and a wolf, no problem. I mean, it was a little sweat, but still. But 1 birch tree? Yep, no, that killed me. Thank you for tuning in to Medieval Dynasty, which originally streamed live on Twitch as a marathon. If you have any feedback or questions for me, let me know in the comments below, but please keep in mind I've asked for no spoilers, so don't spoil it for anyone else in the comments. If you would like to catch a live stream of mine, Rhadamant.com has my stream schedule and countdown timers to upcoming streams. If you'd like to join my online gaming community on Discord, Rhadamant.com has a link to it, as does the description of this video. Thank you so very much for watching. Special thank you to my Twitch subscribers, Patreon patrons, and viewers like you that support the channel and made it all the way to the credits. Thank you so very much. I hope to catch you next episode or an upcoming stream. Farewell, my fellow medieval Dynasty players.